Hi there. Welcome to our series Demystifying the World of Data and Digital Marketing. In our previous video, we discussed one of the first and still the most prominent channel, email marketing. I was going to take it step by step into what is latest today, but since there were a few comments on my opinion about the evolution of the industry or what is the latest. So I thought, why not discuss that first? And in the subsequent videos, we will cover everything in between, right? So regarding how the industry has evolved, you can see with so much of an evolution year after year, it has a tendency to create the type of confusion or the race that we are in terms of what is the latest, what is good, what is bad, which one is better. So all this evolution in the quest for making marketing more effective and knowing our customers better, right? But are we really looking at understanding our customers better, or we are still caught up in the old ways of doing things using the latest technologies at hand? A lot of times we only communicate to our customers when there is a new product release. So I spoke to you about product A, then there has been a long silence. It could be weeks, months, 6 months, and a year until I have the next product. And that's when I communicate with you again about my latest product. And whenever I do my marketing, I try to know a bit about you or try to put you in some kind of a segment. Like I create like two big buckets or four big buckets, the usual way of doing things. And the tendency is to do spray and pray approach. And a lot of times different marketing channels or platforms do what they do, and it's all fragmented, right? We don't even care how much of a communication is going to our consumers. Either we don't communicate with them at all, and when there is a time in terms of like campaign, we might bombard them with 10 different messages from 10 different teams and 10 different channels on the same day, which creates this whole confusion about why is it not working, right? It's not working because the most important thing about, which means a lot to our organization and to our marketers, are the consumers, are the customers. So are we really putting customers in the center of our ecosystem, right? And that's where our today's topic comes in, which is the customer data platform. And it's not only a tool for marketing, but it's a tool which is good for the entire organization. And I always believe that marketing is business and business is marketing. And it's tool like customer data platform that enables marketing to take that center seat in any organization. And I will continue to strive to get marketing the respect that we deserve. So some of us have got good idea of what a customer data platform is, and since we are marketers are so fond of abbreviations, CDP, so some of us have good ideas, some of us are just learning. So I thought it will be good to really understand what CDP is and why do we need a tool like a CDP. Have you seen, like, there are thousands of marketing technology tools and platforms that have come up. Why specifically CDP? And I've done an implementation for a few of my clients. I've been a brand advocate of CDP for past few years, and I really feel it's a gifted solution for us marketers and overall as an organization. But why is that? Given our approach that we have taken, as a legacy that I know your name, your email address, and you have purchased product A some time back. So now you are the right customer for me to communicate for product B. So I send you a communication with 20% off in the new product, and that's what it's about it. And certain times you might optimize some of our content and stuff like that. But what a CDP does is CDP is basically story of three boxes, right? So on the left hand side, if you see, the first box is all about the handles that you have on your on your customers, right? And this variations changes, right, from organization to organization. And even like for me, you will see I have a few of my own variations, right, uh, which has been changing, client by client, brand by brand, year after year. So, but more or less, CDPs are about the three boxes. So the first one is all about the data sources that you have. And when we talk about data sources, there are three major ones. We call like first party, second party, and third party. I understand the whole GDPR and data privacy issues with second and third party data. So I'm not getting into the nitty-gritties of that, but trying to discuss overall the broad concept of what CDP is and what a CDP can do for you. Right. So in the first box, that is where the data integration happens. All the data sources that you have, be it your CRM, your QS, your transaction data, your website data, the email, marketing campaign data that you have. It could also be your offline data, right? In terms of the conversations that salespeople have, your offline center, your customer support center, the second party data that you would have from your other partners, right? The social media data that you would have, and again external third party data that you would have, be it coming from a data provider or tools like DMP. So what it does is it integrates all this data together. Now CDP is known to be the brain of marketing, but what is really important is the second box, which is where the magic really happens. This is, you can call it the brain, the data intelligence, but it's really where the magic happens in terms of creating a unified view about your customers. Uh, Remember, we keep saying the best way of doing marketing is right content, right time, right device, right channel, and stuff. But how would you anticipate that if all your efforts are siloed, right? So here you brought all the data sources together, you create a unified customer view about your customer, and then rest of the work that we need to do has a marketing organization, has an overall organization, becomes very very easy and straightforward. For example, getting more insights into our customers, right? What did they interact with? What type of content do they prefer? What type of products do they prefer? What services they like, didn't like? If they had any grievances, it's all in front of you, right? You can easily calculate the customer lifetime value. So it's not just campaign by campaign, but an overall lifetime value of your customers. And very important is the predictive analysis that now you can run, which it gives you the power to really understand which of your customer is ripe for making a transaction, making a purchase, or is in the risk of losing or becoming inactive, or if they are inactive, why they have been inactive, what are certain things that we can do to make them active, right? And the biggest efforts that we have been putting in terms of like segmentation and targeting. Why is it important? We keep talking about segments and micro segments, but really today is the age of segment of one. Many different names, segment of one, some call it like moments marketing. What is the exact important moment for your individual customer? But it shouldn't be the case where we have the tools and technology, but our mindset is still the same about creating big buckets and big segments, and my job is done. No, with tools like CDP, you really have the power of creating the segment of one, because now I know you on an individual basis. What are your preferences? What content do you like? What are your preferred channel, device, timing, everything. So there is no reason for me to send you a very generic kind of a message. This is where personalization becomes very important from a content perspective, products, services, and even in terms of the activation channels. Now, as a legacy of CDP has been around for a few years now, right? But when it started off as a very stand-alone kind of a CDP, which was mainly these two boxes. You merged data sources, you made sense out of it, and you understood your customers. But then when it come a point where you want to activate it, is to churn out the segments, and this segment was then exported to the already existing marketing channels that you have, like marketing automation tools or any other softwares that you have been using, email marketing tools and stuff. So then it's been sent out of it. So there was a bit of a disconnectivity. There was no real-time activation. So what is latest in this space and very important is the origin of CDXP, which combines the good old CDP with the element of experience into that, which brings the third box, right? So it's not that the real-time connectivity is lost, but when you identify that this person, we can engage him in a certain way, those that message is automated now by this whole CDXP experience, because we live in a world of real time. Your consumers are activating and interacting on a real time basis, on your website, on other third party websites, on a social media handle. So that shouldn't be the case that then you collect all this information and then you sit on it for next 1 day or a week, and then you try to communicate. By then you've already lost it, right? If the person is upset, then now that person is super upset because we didn't have a real time connectivity with that person. So it becomes very, very important to have that real-time activation piece. So some CDPs, they come up with integrators to the various channels and tools and technologies, whatever that we have. So most of them come up with most of the integrators, within that platform. And some have got inbuilt implementation, like website push notification, mobile push notification. So they have this inbuilt into the system. But overall, the whole concept is you merge the data source, you understood about the consumers, there should be real-time activation, be it any time of the day. That is preferred by the customers, or whenever they have raised any kind of inquiry or any type of grievances or any type of request that they have made. So the real-time personalization across channels, across time, in an automated way is where it's more important. And the beauty of it is we are capturing data from all these various channels where they can activate. Now that that intel is brought back into your organization, where decisions can be made in the various dashboards that you derive, in terms of like what new products to be made, what how can we optimize our services, what type of customer service that people are expecting. So all those decisions can be made, and that's why I said CDP is not just a marketing tool, but it's an organization wide tool which can really enhance the way that we conduct our business, the way we conduct our marketing, and make it really effective for the marketing investments that we make. And then if you look at the customer experience, just on the last box again, that experience is not just from a marketing perspective, right? You have your own channels like website, emails, SMSs, your mobile apps, but also other channels, offline channels that you would have. How would you inform sales channel, whom to speak to, what to speak to them, even your contact center, whom to call. So all these things is integrated. So you see, it's not just focus on marketing, but it's focus on organization wide across all the channels, right? So which brings us to the question of so what are some of the use cases that a CDP can bring about? But before we get into the use cases, it is very important to understand how has the customer journey changed over time. So if you remember the earlier customer journey that we spoke about, which was very linear, right? No email, name and email address. That person brought product A. Next time that we speak to that person would be when there's a launch of product B. We send him 20% discount, and that's about it. So it was very product to product. or campaign by campaign basis. But now is the economy of engagement. Engagement is important to get that relationship, like you call it relationship marketing, and to get that trust from a consumer. So it's no longer enough that we just speak to them about product on product basis, unless if you're e-commerce and specific, focusing on a specific niche, then maybe. But in a broader scale of things, when it comes to marketing, it's all about how you build that relationship, and that's the beauty of a CDP, because now you can engage them not only from the product and services that you have, but you can engage with them as an individual, what matters to them most, right? If they have purchased a new house, if they got recently married, if they are new parents, if they have moved cities, even based on their specific interests and behaviors that they have been showing not only on our properties but in external properties. And for example, if they are fitness enthusiasts, right? So if I keep sending them messages and content about how to remain fit when they are traveling, okay, we cannot travel, so bad example. How to stay fit while working from home, I think that would be a more relevant example. And certain fitness tips, diet tips, different type of exercises that you can do without instruments, without going to the gym. So if I build relationship with you, sharing such tips and contents with you, you would engage with me saying that, oh, so this brand, this person, this marketer really knows about me and is genuinely trying to help me and build a relationship with me, and they reciprocate. So once in a while, if I send messages about the products that I have or the services that I offer, generally people wouldn't mind that. They will be bit more receptive towards it. So it's very important that we build relationship, and tools like CDP enables us to do and automate most of it. So you cannot have like bigger segments and have broad level of content and really hope that it works. uh, you know uh, because if you do it at a very granular level, individual level, then the whole concept of have to automate so many different activation, have to create so many different type of content. If you think of that, that is actually a very lazy way of doing marketing. So if you're and utilizing tools like CDP, then we need to make sure that we get the most out of tools like this, the most out of building a relationship with the consumer, the most about making our marketing very, very effective so that we can get a lot more value out of the efforts that we are putting in. So now the relationship would change from a very monotonous to one that has a lot of content, that has got a lot of different touch points, that has got a lot more reasons to interact with our customers, so that they can engage with us better and convert with us, because business KPIs are equally important as well. So last topic on that would be, so yeah, we go about this doing this whole recommendation. So what are certain use cases that we should look out to initially test these tools out, right? So some of the common use cases that you can use is really to check the online and offline connectivity, like how well is our organization merged together. So you can use certain examples of your online data sources, online channels, and offline channels, and see how well your omni-channel automation works, right? So that are certain use cases, and then once it works, then you can scale it to all the data sources, all the channels, bringing it together. Which brings to the second use case in terms of how do you better segment now, given that you have the so much of data in your hand and so much of granularity in your data now. How well would you do your segmentation and personalization? So again, when I talk about segmentation, I'm not talking really about creating broad level segments, but micro segments, like very, very granular kind of segments that you can create, right? And then eventually moving on to how can we do that on an individual basis or very, very personalized basis. So that's a personalization that you can test it out. Third and very, very important would be your predictive customer scoring, which is very important. That every business is trying to get this right in terms of like trying to come up with many different type of predictive analysis and predictive modeling and stuff. But CDP can really enable you to find answers to some of the very key questions. Which are the customers who are ready to convert, who are ready to purchase your next product, who are at the risk of losing, right? Who are at the risk of losing? How can we bring them back, right? If they have been inactive for the past 6 months, for past 1 year, what more information do we have about them that we can use it in our communication, in our messaging to bring them back? So this type of predictive analysis becomes very crucial and important, and it's made, I wouldn't call it easy, but it makes it very impactful when you use tools like CDP. In terms of the activation channels, like I said, it's all automated. You can automate it as much as you want so that you can have real-time activation. And this can be extrapolated to even the some of the behavioral targeting and lookalike audiences that you can create. So the lookalike audiences would be created in your decision engineering, and then it's been passed on to your activation channels like Facebook and Google Ads, and could be a programmatic desk, and that the activation becomes a lot more powerful. So you're not only relying on the, for example, the look alike audiences in these individual tools, but now you can also start to look at that look alike audiences within your audiences and test it out on your activation channels. And finally, I mean, like that can be a lot more use cases. I'm just taking a few examples that you can start off with. Uh, it could be in terms of like product recommendations, which can work many different ways. Product recommendation in terms of like the product that you are already consuming, already using, based on certain browsing history that you have shown not only in website but in other all the other channels that you have interacted with, or send in any inquiry to a contact center that can be used. Similar people like you that have looked for other products, those type of recommendation. So all these recommendations, can be built uh, into your CDP, and that's what makes it easy. So circling back, there are lot of different type of CDPs. A lot of CDPs are evolving. Those with like marketing automation tools, or they were under different type of tools and platforms now evolving to become a full-fledged CDP. Some have managed to achieve it, some are still in the process, right? So identifying the right CDP for your business is one of the challenges that you will face. So make sure that you analyze many different vendors based on your requirement, right? Because every organization is different data sets, different type of defining the data, the audiences. So it becomes very important that you identify the right vendor for your organization. And if I may bring back your attention to this architecture that I initially shared, why is it very important to work with the right vendor? Because every organization is unique, not in terms of the data sources, but this data sources, when you merge together, you create a data model which is very unique to your organization. My apologies, I should have covered it earlier on, but it's very important. This data model is unique to you. It brings all the data sources together and gives you a unique ID, which could be your CDP ID or your organization ID, which has uh, the the references to your different IDs in terms of like data sources and the activation channel IDs and stuff, but also certain key information that you will need on a regular basis, or on a real-time basis. So getting that data model right is the key to the success of your CDP. So first one is identifying who you are as an organization in terms of the data sources and the definition, getting the data model right, and working with the right vendor who can help you get the maximum benefit for implementing a CDP. So I really hope I managed to, give you a quick introduction. There's a lot more that we can discuss about this topic, but in interest of time, uh, I will end my topic over here. So make sure that you get the right vendor. But if you need any help in identifying the right vendor, or discussing how CDPs can really help you achieve your marketing and business objectives, feel free to DM me. And any questions you have, feel free to DM me. I will be more than happy to help. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.